we're doing the second one.
I did not think we'd get this far.
I didn't think anyone would listen or care.
Yeah.
I mean, we only know they listened. I don't know that they cared.
We'll just assume that they do.
Yeah, I mean, so for the time we're recording it, I don't want to like super date this, but I'm going to. It's the 17th of October, and at our current state, we've had 142 listens on the one we did a few weeks back.
That is 141 more than I thought we'd get, and I thought that one was just going to be you.
Yeah, I just testing that the RSS feed was working. So you have a bit of feedback, right, from the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with it.
Yeah, so someone I spoke to about it, they pointed out that we didn't really introduce ourselves very well, and they were trying to guess which one of us was which voice.
I kind of like that. We're faceless, nameless entities on the internet.
I mean, if you want to keep it that way, I'm fine by it.
I don't mind. Would you like to? Do you want to make it obvious for people?
No.
Okay, one of us is Jono. One of us is Stephen. One day you'll maybe know. Maybe. All right, Jono. And let's crack on. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so do you want to go with the smaller things first or the bigger thing first?
Let's crack out the small things.
Let's crack out the small things. All right. After you crack on first.
Well, as you said, it's been a few weeks since our last podcast.
Yep.
Our last recording. We have both been very busy.
Yeah, we've been on holiday together.
We have been on holiday together. You have been on holiday alone as well.
Oh yeah, I went away for
not alone.
10 nights with my other half.
Yeah.
And then me and you went to Toulouse.
Yeah.
To stay with a friend.
Yeah.
That's a busy weekend.
And
should we discuss what happened there?
I think we should.
Yeah. Let's just set the scene. I was having a nice Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it was
Saturday. Other brands were available.
Saturday afternoon, sitting in a nice little cafe on the corner of the street in Toulouse. Mm-hmm. What was the first thing? We had the chanting.
Actually, what happened first of all is that we thought protesters were coming, but then they were having a gay pride march as well.
Yep.
So that went past, and that was a lot nicer.
Yep.
Very colourful and good music. I think they had I think Queen was playing.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they were playing it, no singing at all.
Yeah.
Instrumental. So that was nice. That went past, and then we heard more banging of drums, and I think we just kind of assumed they were coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, how wrong we were.
Yeah. So Mark pointed out to us.
Mark is the person we stayed with.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's our buddy that lives out in Toulouse.
Yeah, he might be listening to this. Hey, Mark, if you listen.
Stop now. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
So he pointed out that there's been these protests for going on nearly a year.
It's 47, 48 weeks.
Yeah, I think this was the 48th week. And it had initially started out about protesting about fuel prices.
Yeah, because wasn't it sprung from climate change, and he said he wanted to cut the emissions by boosting the
fuel prices.
Yeah.
So that did not go down well. Started as that, and it's snowballed into various other things.
Yeah.
Yes. And as people tag on to the momentum,
they bring their own ideologies and ideas.
And there's the few people that just want to cause trouble.
We met them.
Yeah, that's where we got to.
So we'll take you back. We sat there, nice, cool, refreshing drink after exploring the beautiful town that is Toulouse.
Yep.
If you've never been there, please go.
Yep.
It's incredible. And the way of life out there is so relaxed. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of noise. It's kind of it was a bit like a chant, maybe a bit of a banging of a drum or something. And a few moments later, there was 4 motorbikes went past with armed military police. Quite
heavily armed.
Yeah.
Didn't really think too much of that. It was they're going the other direction.
Yeah.
It's not, they've got it under control. It's fine.
Then they went round the corner next to us.
Yep.
And it must have been probably 5-6 minutes later.
Yeah, probably.
What I can only describe as a herd of people, a stampede, if you will. came running out of the streets past us, covering their faces with jumpers and just crying.
Yeah.
And it took about 4 seconds until I understood why. When my eyes started to sting and breathing hurt. And it turned out they had tear gassed the protesters, and then the protesters threw the tear gas back at the police. And I mean, we got out pretty easily.
Yeah,
we were lucky.
We weren't too close to it.
But we were
close.
We were pretty close. Yeah. They were just around the corner from us. I think the wind was just blowing it at like the crossroads, like straight over.
Yeah.
So we just got the.
Quite lucky there.
There was that poor woman that was like really
she had the water being poured in her face. Yeah.
And that policeman looked like he needed it as well. Yeah. So we did the properly British thing, and instead of just running away, we went inside and paid. We stood in pain to pay, and then we ran away like little girls, while our friend Mark ran around the corner to investigate what was going on. Like a maniac. Good job, Mark.
Yeah.
Good job. So yeah, that was interesting. I mean, the rest of our trip was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, there was a bit of a police presence in the evening, wasn't there? But that kind of...
But it wasn't like you felt safe. Like you knew they had it.
You didn't...
And they were the politest police I've ever come across. They stood there with guns, looking angry, and then you look at them, and they're like, bonsoir. And you're just like, oh, hello. So yeah, that was a thing. That's a story to start off with, isn't it?
Yeah, that was eventful. Yeah, it's just mental that it's been going on for so long, and it just seems to be like, oh yeah, that's just Saturday in Toulouse now.
Yeah, everyone had like dispersed, and then it was like a switch had been flicked. Even with Mark and ourselves, he was like, oh, actually, there's a really good comic book shop out here. So we like went from running to just like walking in pain, but then investigating comic book shops and booking dinner.
Yeah.
And then we kind of walked back towards the protesters to get a bike to cycle home.
Yeah.
It was a strange moment. That was good. Can confirm, did enjoy. Great weekend. And our EasyJet flight home was so easy. It was on time.
It was. Very surprised by that. It was super quick and painless.
Yeah. I was very tired. And then I went back to work on Monday. And then you had another flight the next day.
I went to Glasgow.
Yeah. The high life.
I'm flying again on Saturday.
Yes, you are. Yeah. I think between us we've had like 13, 12, no, probably like 12 holidays.
This year?
Yeah.
I will be on 7 by the end of the month.
Okay, so 11.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Go us. High five. Yeah. That was good. Should we do this like tennis? Like
Why not?
Actually, no, you haven't even batted a story my way yet. You've just spoken about the place that I was there too.
Well, that's what I have, so...
Oh.
Your serve.
I feel like I'm going to win this game. Okay, let's go into... It's more of just... This one's super brief. I just wanted to bring it up because it's hilarious. People are always... I mean, I'm looking at the picture and I kind of agree. I'll probably just explain it. Conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
There's a million of them. And I stumbled across one the other day. I think it's been around for like a year. You're looking at the picture and you can see it, right?
Kind of,
People are saying that they think that Morgan Freeman is actually Jimi Hendrix.
I can see that from the picture.
Yeah, they have so many striking similarities. Like eyes, like look identical, face shape, jaw structure. Sometimes you hear it and you're just like, that's ridiculous. And I'm not saying I believe it, but like I can see where the conspiracy theory came.
I mean, Snopes says that it's false, so I tend to believe them.
Oh, I was edging with it being a lie. So I think it happened because Morgan Freeman like started becoming famous in the 1970s, just after or a year after Hendrix passed away in September 1970. Like obviously there's holes in it. Like people are saying, you know, at the end of the day, Freeman was filming something while Hendrix was busy touring Europe, so can't obviously be in the same place at the same time. But there's a few things that I can understand why they're linking them together. I think Freeman has so he now owns a bar in Memphis that plays live music every night.
Okay.
And so like people were like, okay, well, you know, he's gone back to his roots and can't give it away too much by standing up there and amazing the crowd with guitar. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it's hilarious. Like,
so I mean, just one thing I'm reading here. It says that the idea that Freeman is actually Hendrix is largely based on 3 claims: that they're both fans of music, they look alike, and Freeman's acting career didn't take off until after Hendrix's death. I mean, I like music too.
But you don't look like Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, don't I?
No.
Damn.
That's really, really, really striking not similarities, differences.
You have ruined all my dreams.
Sorry, man. Well, okay, what else do you have? That one wasn't a big one. I saw it and I was like, I need to tell you about that because I'm laugh.
There was just something I wanted to kind of get off my chest. Really, it's nothing too shocking, but it's just annoying. So as you know,
I swear to God, if you say it to me, it's just annoying.
Oh, hold on, let me change my notes. So I've been trying to sell some things on Facebook and things like that recently.
Jono's Complaints Corner.
Yeah. Marketplace complaints.
Marketplace Complaints Corner.
And people are just the worst.
You know, I'm recording this and I do all the editing, so I'm just going to have as like my text tone now, just you going, people are just the worst.
I'm alright with that. Can we upload that to like the iTunes store? 99p ringtone.
People are just the worst. Yes, I'm in.
So the main thing that I've had is people messaging me and just saying, what's the lowest you'll go?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't feel like that's how it's supposed to work. Like I have something up for say 50 quid. Someone says, "Oh, what's the lowest you'll go?" Like, "Oh, do you know what? As soon as you asked, I'll do 20." Yeah.
I wasn't selling it for that price because I wanted that price.
Yeah, and then I've had people offer me all sorts of trades. They offered.
It's not Pokemon.
No, I know. I was offered a television.
Well, I mean that does depend on what you're selling.
It was an old mobile phone. They didn't go into the specifics of the television.
Okay.
But when
I would investigate that.
When they first asked me if I'd accept any trades, I just said, yes, I'll trade it for cash. And that didn't seem to go down too well.
Such a sassy bitch.
And no, I won't accept checks or old televisions. And just...
That's how I trade everything in current... I've just got loads of old TVs. To Tesco's, how many old TVs will it take to buy all of this food?
I'm not going to...
My wallet is massive.
Remind me not to sell anything to you again.
Alright, anything else you want to get off your chest?
No.
I like this.
I'm good.
For the listeners, I see Jono every day. A little bit of backstory here. We've known each other for like 13, 14 years.
Yeah. We
work together. And we still don't hate each other.
Yeah. I mean...
We'd be a perfect couple if it wasn't for our girlfriends.
Yeah.
And Jono's not a massive complainer. Like, he tells me things, but like it's like normally like a sarcastic or funny twist to it. So hearing you actually complain about it, I loved it. Like, can we have more next time?
I'm gonna make more complaints.
Make more complaints, yeah. I mean, pick your battles. I don't know, you just go on and be like, right, here's 400 things I just fucking hate. Alright, well, I wish I'd thought of something to complain about now. Bit tired. That's about it. I'm a bit tired.
Join the club, mate.
Yeah, and it's leg day today, so that's going to be painful. And then we're going to Eurogamer tomorrow. But we can talk about that in a minute. Alright, another weird story. So, did you know, back in 2013, that a man got trapped underwater, 30 metres underwater, for 60 hours and survived?
What?
Right? How insane is that? So basically, a ship capsized.
Right.
And the cook just happened to get trapped in like a pocket of air. And I don't know, I think he like moved around a bit. But yeah, he managed to survive 30 metres underwater for 60 hours.
That is incredible.
I know. 2.5 days. Quick math. That's madness. I was just off the Nigerian coast. And yeah, he was the only person that survived. Imagine that.
I mean,
That's a long way.
that's got to be quite a fair-sized air pocket as well. Sure.
Yeah. The stories that I found didn't explain like whether he moved around the ship or anything like that. I can imagine he did, but that's so incredibly lucky.
I'm just kind of picturing it like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're walking along the seabed with the boat over their heads.
Yeah. He was just in the kitchen searching for rum.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that.
I'll put some links and stuff in the show notes. I don't think it's like, I don't want to go through it. It's not the biggest story in the world, but I just wanted to mention it because it's an interesting read. For anyone that didn't know it happened.
Yeah.
Somehow that news just passed me. I mean, it was 6 years ago. Passed me by. I was too busy partying like the young'un that I was.
I was not.
I'm surprised you didn't know then. Okay, we're going to delve right back into the past here. We're talking like around the 1940s, 1950s. So I heard about this the other day, and I love weird mystery things. And there's a creepy doll on my screen that I just cannot handle. So it's called the case of the Pollack Twins. I'll give you just a brief overview of it. Again, I'll go into more detail with this one, but I'll drop some links into the show notes. So John and Florence Pollack, they already had one child, I believe, at the time of having Joanna, which is the first girl that matters in this story.
Right.
Sorry, other child. So Joanna was born in 1946. Life was completely normal, doing day-to-day things, going to school, going to church. And then 5 years later, in 1951, Jacqueline was born. And this is where the story gets like a little bit weirder. So a few years later, Joanna sort of would tell her parents that she never thought she'd grow up to be a lady.
Right.
And she'd never become an adult. And then this seems like it makes no sense what I'm about to say next, but you need to remember it. It's an important factor for later on in the story. So at age 3, Jacqueline fell into a bucket. Now, I mean, she was either really tiny or it was a massive bucket, but it caused like a small cut on her forehead, just over her right eye, sort of like right hand side at the top of your nose, kind of there.
Yeah, I'm glad you just pointed that out for the listeners there.
Yeah, well, it was mainly for you. They would have never known. Thanks for shaming me. And that left a scar, so it was like quite deep. So when it healed, it left like a depression. She also had like a roundish birthmark on the left side of her like lower waist. This seems like it doesn't matter anything. It doesn't mean anything. But wait. So, in May 1957, Joanna was 11, Jacqueline was 6, and they were walking to church with a friend, family, and that morning a local woman had decided to take what she thought was a lethal quantity of aspirin and phenobarbital. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I am going to just assume you're right.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, it says.
Phonetically, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, she took what she thought was lethal quantities of that and decided that she was going to commit suicide by driving. So, first of all, nod to how terrible that is.
Yeah, not great decision making there.
I meant how terrible it is that she wanted to do that. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
also terrible decision making. And while she was out driving, she struck both the girls and killed them.
Wow.
And I think the friend that they were with as well. So we see that the family was heavily grief-stricken. And during that time, their father, John, said that in their playroom at the top of the house would still feel like they were there. Which, on its own isn't anything weird, because you kind of expect that,
Yeah, of course.
parents filled with grief would maybe feel like their little ones were still around. But it wasn't too long after that accident that Florence was pregnant again.
Right.
All the way through the pregnancy, the doctor was adamant that it was just one child. It's going to be a single birth. But John was adamant that there would be twins. Doctors disagreed with him. He had no proof for this. And on October 4th, 1958, she had twins. Both girls, Gillian and Jennifer. Okay, so that's the first little weird twist.
Right.
They started to grow up and become small adults, where, you know, they start to get their distinguishing features and be able to talk. And it was noticed that Jennifer had a birthmark in the same shape and place as Jacqueline's scar was. And she also had a near identical birthmark in the exact same place as Jacqueline.
Well.
John, after they'd passed away, had prayed for a sign. Before they passed away, had prayed for a sign of reincarnation.
Okay.
And so he, going on some news reports, said that he kind of blamed himself for asking that, and now felt that like they'd been killed to give him that sign.
Right.
At least I think it was something along those lines. I'm piecing information together from the places that seem most legitimate. So I couldn't tell you that before because it kind of hinted you where this was going.
A little bit, yeah.
So here's some other weird things. Okay. So as they were growing up, none of the toys from the previous sisters were available.
Right.
The mum just, I imagine, couldn't handle seeing them all the time. It was probably too raw. But eventually, as the girls got older, she did get all the toys out.
Right.
And the girls could name every single toy correctly, having, it was said, never seen them before.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the one that makes it weirdest. They also had a shared phobia of cars. So much so that on one occasion, a car engine started near them, and the dad had to comfort them both after they started crying in terror and like holding onto each other, and they were just shouting, the car's coming for us."
It's
bit weird.
Yeah.
Also, the girls were overheard discussing the accident. Yeah, so like in a bit of detail, like they found them, like one of them laying on the floor in the bedroom, the other one looking over her, and they thought they were just sort of playing. Then they started saying parts and like details of everything, and then one of them was saying that she had like blood coming from her eyes, all somewhat creepy.
Yeah.
And then also it was just down to little things as well, like Gillian learnt how to write quite well,
right,
whereas Jennifer had the same problem that Jacqueline did. So she was aged like six when it happened. Jacqueline was aged 6 when it happened, and she would like hold the pen or a pencil in like a grip fist, rather than how you would normally.
Yeah.
And Jennifer started learning to write and instinctively held it in a grip fist, and it took her till the age of I think like 11 to get it right properly. Whereas Gillian just got it, and also Gillian would always act much more mature, as if she was Joanna, who was obviously 4 years older.
Yes, yeah.
I'll put some, as I say, I'll put some notes in the show notes for like some links to check out, because the actual full story is amazing. There's things like the girls saying that they like they'd go to like play parks and recount memories of things that happened there, or would have like really powerful like dreams about things that had happened to the other girls. And I'm not saying I believe it, but I do think it's a really interesting story.
Yeah.
It's one of the first stories that people kind of took seriously as a possible like reincarnation story.
To a point, it's just kind of coincidental.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that I read and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
But everything else, I'm like, you could have just heard family talking. Kids are like sponges when they're younger. They take in everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So they could have just been taking the information from like grandparents, aunts, uncles, you know, friends of family and stuff that would have been talking about the girls eventually.
And if you hear something enough, then it kind of
piece it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is the birthmark thing. I think is weird.
Definitely, yeah.
Because if it was just like it's both. It's both of them.
Yeah, if it was like just the kind of matching birthmark, then probably wouldn't think too much about that. But to have one at the same place as the scar,
one in the same place as the birthmark, and basically the same shape, and one is the same shape as the scar, in the same place. It's very strange.
It is.
And from what I understand, the other girl had none.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll drop that in the old show notes. But I just thought, you know, it's a really strange story that I heard of the other day and I wanted to read into. I spent like an hour sort of looking into it, and it's really interesting. It's like they could point out landmarks that they'd never been to. They could name the school that the girls went to. But then they started to grow up and like it just faded away. Like they just stopped. And that's another thing that makes me think like they're just overheard a lot, because when you get older, you can kind of distinguish between your own memories and what you've heard.
Yeah, how much of it was sort of projected onto them.
Yeah. But it's a good read. I would say check it out.
Yeah.
Not going to hate you if you don't.
It's a lot more interesting than what I thought it was going to be when you said Pollack Twins, because I thought it was just going to be twins who like fish.
Or some identical fish.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Next episode, we'll probably discuss some stuff from Eurogamer.
Yes, because we can't discuss it now.
Because we haven't been.
Yeah.
Because it is tomorrow. Who knows? This might get up before we go.
Maybe.
I mean, we do have to go back to work, and then I've got the gym, and then we're going to the cinema, and then I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And editing this might take a while.
Yeah, I mean,
because people get to hear the polished versions of this,
yeah,
but they don't know how much crap we like ramble off.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how our conversations go anyway.
They often just go off on tangents.
Tangents on tangents.
Yeah, and also lots of pauses by you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate you. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I have not prepared anything else.
Oh, you're the worst.
Yes.
Okay, well, if you're still with us, thanks for listening. We'd appreciate some feedback. We're available on Twitter. It's WaitWhatFM.
Yep, WaitWhatFM.
We appreciate some feedback. We're super active on there, working with other podcasts and just, promoting ourselves and other people and just generally having a swell time. So yeah, thanks for listening. And
until next time.
Bye.
Bye.